Welcome back to the Event Sign-Up System Reports series. In this segment, we're going to talk about what happens when things go wrong. So, the first part of this segment is going to be what happens when we don't have a full raid force. Right now, I have 25 people marked in my raid, but only 22 present. This can happen because you could have some pickups along your raid force, or in my case, Vendel and Yumi had to leave early. I marked Vendel and Yumi as left early, but it still doesn't change the fact that we're short people. I also tried to go to my queue, and nobody was available. People had already camped off, or what have you. And nobody was on from the red team. So I went ahead and pushed forward with those 22 people. Which is good that I did, because we got these nice Captain Spalders from a Guardian plate tank Spalders. So, our plate tanks were very happy, and we'll scroll up and look to see which plate tank has some DKP. I hope one of them does. Carmoil, Carcax. Okay, well, none of them have full DKP, but let's say, like Linnea actually has 25 DKP, which works out quite well. So Linnea is going to loot these Spalders. So I'm going to click the link to get it in my chat window, which will be right here. I'll select after them, and do my shift arrow, Control C. I'll poke loot for Linnea, and I'll add the item here, Fabled Gear Purchase for 24 points. I'll hit Create. Now it says my report is out of balance by 24, which is correct because we took 24 points away from Linnea. So I'm going to have to go down here and mark the player +1. So I'll hit player +1 and then hit execute, as we've done normally from before. But since I only have 22 players, I'm still out of balance by 2 points, and it will not let me close an event report that's out of balance. So I'm going to have to try to do something about that. And what you do is you come to your bank adjustments. If you have one, that's great. You poke the E button here. If you don't have one, you can add one by hitting the Add Flags button and selecting Bank Adjustment. But I do, so I'm just going to hit the E button. Since I'm 2 points out of balance, I'm going to set this to 45 points instead of 43 points, and I'm going to hit Save. You'll have to tweak it and then go back to the event report. Now, if you did it properly, it either went up, the thing went away, or it went to -4 out of balance. So you'll just have to tweak with that. I always mix it up. So that's the first thing. You'll have to do that after every loot, or you can do that when you're done with the raid altogether. It's up to you. Those points are available to redistribute to the raid force, but we don't have enough to give points away currently, so that can happen. Now, the other area that can mess up is what happens if you double click. It sometimes happens that you double click on execute and the code actually gives 1 extra point away that you didn't mean to. So, which I did that. Actually, I actually did it twice. Silly-hitis. So I executed, and now I've given away way too many points than what I should have. Now, you can go through and edit each one of those purchases for each player, like we just did for the bank, but that is going to be a really long process. So, one thing you can do is you can mass manipulate these flags. We have 2 extra fabled points that we have to get rid of. So, we're going to poke the mass manipulate flags to go to the start of our wizard. And they ask, what do we want to distribute? We want to deal with a fabled purchase. And click on next. We want to distribute these to all present players. Again, that's the green black buttons, so we only want the players that were present. And we'll hit next. And I want to adjust the existing values. You can overwrite the values if you are sure, but adjusting is usually the preferred method, especially if you've had people come and go from your raid force. So I'm going to adjust the existing values, and I'm going to take away 2 points. So I'm going to say -2 at this prompt. -2, no eligible target. Apparently I messed. -2, no eligible target. Hello? I'm in this box. -2. Alright, and then I'll hit next. And then if the flag doesn't exist, you can skip the players because they don't have the error anyway. And hit next. And then we can execute the correction. So I'm going to poke execute. And now my report is back in balance. Those are the 2 main gotchas. The other thing can be what happens if you accidentally looted something that you didn't mean to. You can always delete the purchase. Or let's say this was accidentally assigned as a purchase of 22.5 DKP, but it really wasn't a purchase because it should have been a bank loot. So you can edit that item and make that a bank loot and update, and the system will adjust accordingly the points properly. That's pretty much all it has, so it's time to review your event report. Thank you very much. I'll go to the next sector.